I've been investing for 5 years now. 4 years as a DIY investor when I was still working as a veterinarian, and 1 year as a financial planner. I've made several mistakes, paid some school fees, and learned a hell of a lot in the process, which I am now happy to share with other South Africans to help create a better financial future for us all. Financial education is unfortunately not taught in schools, and we therefore need to proactively take control of our own finances if we want to succeed in life. So in today's video, I'm going to reveal the investment portfolio breakdown of me and my wife as a 30-year-old couple living in Cape Town, South Africa. I will show you how our investments are split up between the different investment vehicles and asset classes, and I will also reveal the investment return each portfolio received, as well as the total return for 2024. And at the end, I will audit our portfolio and make some recommendations on where I think it could be improved. Now, as always, remember that each person's financial situation is unique and that you should not be comparing yourself to us. This is also not financial advice to the general public. I'm only sharing what we do based on our own goals to encourage open conversations around money and hopefully to also inspire others to start on their investment journeys as well. Now, just because something has worked for us does not mean it will necessarily work for you. So don't blindly follow people on social media, but learn from them as much as you can. And with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Now, our investment portfolios are divided into 8 different investment vehicles, for which I will show the percentages for both of us in total. The largest portion of our wealth is currently invested in retirement annuities, making up 22.8% of our total portfolio. In 2024, our retirement annuities provided a return of 16.42%, which is quite high for funds that are restricted by Regulation 28 of the Pension Funds Act, which essentially limits your asset allocation in retirement funds to 75% equities and 45% offshore exposure, amongst other things. Despite these limitations, retirement annuities still offer great benefits like tax-deferred growth, and they also lower your taxable income, which helps us pay less taxes and ultimately makes more funds available that can go straight into other investments. Our second largest portion is invested in our tax-free savings accounts, totaling 16.9% of our portfolio. Our TFSAs managed to provide a lacquer return of 19.12% in 2024. Now, TFSA is a no-brainer for every single South African. All the money you put into this jommy grows tax-free, and you can also withdraw later from it completely tax-free. But the key here is to treat your tax-free savings account like it is a retirement annuity and only consider withdrawing from it once you reach your retirement age, as the tax-free growth only really starts to compound over a couple of decades. We always first prioritize maxing out our TFSAs at 36,000 Rand per year each. Our third largest portion is surprisingly invested in cash savings, making up 15.7% of our portfolio, and which earned a return of 8.29% in 2024. Now, this may come as a shocker because Peter, keeping money in cash loses value to inflation, right? Yes, that is true theoretically. But remember, personal finance is personal. We are heavily weighted in cash savings for 2 main reasons. Firstly, we have a fully funded 6-month emergency fund for our personal expenses, as well as a 3-month emergency fund for my business, which is this whole content creation thing. Secondly, I had undergone a complete career change from a veterinarian to a financial planner about 18 months ago, and this meant that my income took a massive hit and that it is still very volatile. Until I have a more stable stream of consistent income, I prefer the extra cash buffer we currently have above locking my money into long-term investments. Our fourth largest portion is allocated to our Crypto Arbitrage portfolio, which currently sits at 13.7% of our total portfolio value. Now, I started my Crypto Arbitrage portfolio with a minimum investment amount of 100,000 Rand in January 2023, and it has since boosted an incredible return of 107.4% in 2024 alone. I don't trade this account myself. I use another company that facilitates the whole process on their end, which makes it pretty much a hands-off process for me. Now, Crypto Arbitrage, in short, is not buying coins and hoping it will go to the moon, but rather capitalizing on the price difference between what Bitcoin, for example, will cost in the US and what it will cost in South Africa. Because South Africa is such a smaller country, Bitcoin usually trades at a premium. So if you buy Bitcoin in the US and you sell it in South Africa, then you can make a profit on the trade based on that spread for the day. As South Africans, we are all allowed to take 1 million rand outside of the country as part of our single discretionary allowance and another 10 million rand through special application with SARS. This means if you trade 100,000 rand and you make a profit of 1,000 rand on that spread, you have more than 100 times that you can trade that 100,000 rand before your 11 million annual allowance dries up. Once this happens, you can donate the amount to your spouse tax-free, who will also have their 11 million rand annual allowance available. So the 100,000 rand that we started with 2 years ago cycled a total of 134 times, each time compounding on the growth of the previous trade, whilst also earning interest in our Capitec savings account. Now listen carefully. We only considered crypto arbitrage after we had a fully funded 6 months emergency fund in place while still contributing towards the rest of our investments. Do not get gains looking at these returns and go and do something stupid like taking out a personal loan or cashing out retirement funds to start crypto arbitrage trading. You are not a mampara. Be responsible and make sure you first have a solid financial foundation in place before you start hoarding money at these alternative investments. I'm seeing more and more people talking about crypto arbitrage on social media lately, and although I do think it is a good way to utilize your annual offshore allowances, you need to be careful who you trust and extremely cautious of scams. Make sure the company that you talk to is a registered financial service provider under the FSA and approved by the South African Reserve Bank to transact as a foreign exchange intermediary, should this ever be a route that you want to follow. Alrighty, moving on. In fifth place, we own a physical property together with my siblings, making up 9.9% of our portfolio. This is a property that we all bought together for family member to live in, so we are not earning rental income from it, but it has increased in value. And if I have to put a conservative estimate, I will say its value increased by 8% in 2024. Our sixth largest portion is allocated to direct US dollar discretionary investments, totaling 8.9% of our portfolio. These investments returned a handsome 47.73% in 2024. Now, during the bear market of 2022, I bought a bunch of large cap individual US stocks, including Apple, Google, Tesla, Meta, Amazon, and Nvidia. I documented my entire investment journey from May 2022 to June 2023 in this playlist over here if you want to go and check it out. But what it boiled down to is I bought these stocks consistently when the markets went down, essentially buying them at a lacquer discount, which have subsequently paid off handsomely when the markets eventually recovered. Now, I recently decided to simplify my whole approach to investing, as I really don't have the time to sit and do market research on each stock. So I basically just sold off all of my individual stocks and will now just buy one well-diversified, low-cost, passive ETF and continue to dollar cost average into it every month. The reason why I chose to also invest in hard currency like the US dollar is to serve as a hedge against the falling rand. In 1993, 2 years before my birthday, the rand was trading at 3.50 rand to the US dollar, and now we are close to 19 rand per dollar. That is an average devaluation of a local currency of around 4 to 6% per year. This means, in global terms, we are getting poorer just by existing. I like to measure our wealth in US dollar terms, so this is one way to combat the rand's devaluation by building an offshore portfolio in a hard currency. In seventh place, we have 7.6% of our portfolio invested in a ZAR discretionary investment. This investment is more conservatively invested to provide for our medium-term goals, like saving for a house deposit as well as a potential future baby, because, those things are expensive. And thus, this investment returned 15.57% in 2024, which I think is still quite impressive. And lastly, in eighth place, we have 4.5% of our investment portfolios invested in crypto. Now, I used to invest in those top 10 crypto bundles on easycrypto.co.za and Altify, but after speaking with some experts in the crypto space and doing a lot of research, I've since decided to just focus primarily on Bitcoin. I personally believe in the value and future of blockchain technology, and although the financial industry is rather slow to adapt, it is making good progress towards recognizing that this technology is here to stay. As a financial planner, I'm still trying to find a way to be able to advise on crypto assets within the strict regulatory realm of South Africa, because I think professional guidance is needed in order to encourage responsible investing in the crypto space. It is a bit of a struggle, but we are slowly getting there as a profession. Now, if I break down our total investment portfolio into its different asset classes, we have 42% invested in equities, 33.3% in cash, 10.7% in property, 9.5% in bonds, and 4.5% in crypto. Our regional exposure is split between 62.7% local and 37.3% foreign assets. We also still have around 100,000 Rand outstanding on a 1-car loan. So moving into 2025, we will take a portion of our cash holdings to smash that car loan. We'll continue to contribute to both our retirement annuities and tax-free savings accounts, and then focus on increasing our USD discretionary investment and crypto portfolios as a further hedge against the falling Rand. I want our combined investment portfolios to eventually reach a split of 50% local and 50% offshore, with equities getting closer to the 75% mark. Now this will take time, especially since cash is still heavily weighted due to our large emergency funds, but as our wealth grows, this percentage will eventually dilute out. Now all in all, this brings our total investment portfolio return for 2024 to 33.53%. And if we exclude our cash savings, which is not really considered an investment, the total return increases to 38.22%. Now, admittedly, 2024 has been an exceptionally good year for the markets, with the S&P 500 index returning over 26% on its own. But still, I'm proud to say that our combined portfolios have managed to outperform this benchmark. And the best thing about all of this is that we follow a stupid, simple strategy. We do not pick individual stocks, we do not risk our money in get-rich-quick schemes, and we do not spend hours upon hours obsessing over what the market will do next. We buy low-cost, well-diversified, passive index funds and ETFs in tax-efficient investment vehicles on low-cost investment platforms, and we continue to buy into the markets consistently through the highs and through the lows. I only revise our investment strategy about once a year, and then I make minor changes to align our portfolio more with our long-term goals, and that's it. I don't change strategies abruptly when Frikkie at the braai tells me about this new trading bot that bought him a Lambo.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
I stick to what has been proven to work for several decades, and I enjoy the peace of mind that comes along with it. Now I make it sound very easy, and it actually is if you understand enough about investments. But it has taken me 5 years and over 5,000 hours of research and reading to get to a point where I now have an extremely strong conviction in my investment philosophy. And the best news for you is that you don't have to wait 5 years to get to where I am, because some exciting news, I am busy creating an online program where I will condense all of my knowledge and experience into a simple to understand investment guide that will teach you everything you need to know to create your own investment plan as a South African DIY investor, both locally and offshore. I'm dedicating well over 300 hours of my time to make this program as best as I possibly can, pouring my heart and soul and most of my receding hairline into the mix, and I hope to have it ready sometime in March or April 2025. Now, if this is something that you would be interested in being part of, then make sure to join the waiting list by clicking on the link down in the description, which will also guarantee you a 10% early bird discount. This is going to be a banger, so don't miss out. You must all have a lekker day. Cheers.